Everyone in this economy is in danger of collapse. It doesn't matter if you're a manager or a director in your job, if you own a small business or a medium-sized business, if you have everything under control, no debt, and you think you're doing great. In just 1 week, your life can experience a situation where all of a sudden you lose your income, lose the job, business goes bankrupt, you owe a bunch of money on medical services, etc. That peace of mind you thought you had is gone. And this is where the problems begin. You lose your credit score, you lose your car, you lose your house, you can get evicted. What you can do today to prevent this and live a nice, comfortable, and peaceful life? Stay with me and I will tell you exactly what to do in this video. Hi there, welcome to your channel, The Foreigner in America, where I teach locals and foreigners everything related to money and personal finances, including investing in the markets, cryptos, real estate, and businesses. So if you're someone like myself who wants to achieve greater wealth in life, you don't settle for pennies but for Benjamins, and you love money, please subscribe to this great channel and hit that bell so you miss any one of my weekly videos. Also check out my Instagram, TikTok, and my blog under the same name. And I have a solid book, which I will leave a link below for you to check out. So without further ado, let's begin. I'm not trying to scare you for you to like me. That's not the idea here. I'm talking about us being in an economy that's not stable, where prices of things are going up every month and incomes are not, where companies are laying off people to be more profitable, and where evictions are back in place and businesses are struggling to stay afloat amid not finding workers to do the jobs they need at a reasonable pay. Am I wrong or am I lying here? Let me know in the comments below. Listen to this. There is one way why rich people do not suffer the same way that middle class and poor people do. There is a reason why wealthy people sleep better at night than you, or you're struggling to make ends meet. And you can tell me, Jaime, they make a lot of money, that's why. If I was making $1 million a month, well, I will sleep pretty well at night too. True, but let's not go so far into money calculations and be more realistic of how much people are making. A person today making $100,000 a year before taxes in a state like Texas nets around $75,000 after taxes. Other states with state and local taxes will take more than them. A single person with no debt making $100,000 gross income can live a comfortable life. What do you think? But this person can still go broke. This person can still lose its income and get into deep financial trouble where he or she ends up on the streets. I want to tell you the things you need to do now to prevent this from happening. So stay with me. Number one, do not rely on a single source of income. Whether you make $50,000, $100,000, or $250,000 a year before taxes, getting all the money from one single source is extremely risky. No job in the world is 100% secure. You may think you work in the medical industry or financial industry where you need these guys forever. True, but what if you have an accident and cannot work anymore? What if something happens to your hands, surgeon? What if you have a stroke and you cannot think properly, financial guy or tech guy? Do you think disability insurance or social security will keep you alive? Think twice. I would much rather make $100,000 from 3 sources of income than making $200,000 from a single source of income. If you lose one of the 3 sources, you can still reduce spending and keep afloat. Whether losing one out of 1 is a disaster. Number 2, do not spend 100% of your money. Let's say you make $200,000 from 3 sources. You're killing it, but every year you spend it all. Every cent of it, and you owe a bunch of money to banks because you bought expensive things like cars, boats, and watches with credit. It's okay. Your income is strong and you have different sources, so it's not like you're losing all 3 at the same time. Well, it could happen technically if you're out of luck, but even if you only lose one of those sources, you will be out of money fast. Because if you make $200,000 and spend $100,000 and save $100,000 or 50% of your income, this is what happens. Forget about investing, the part all that good stuff. Just imagine you lose one of your three sources of income, the biggest one. So now, instead of making 200,000, you're only making 120,000. Well, worst case scenario, instead of saving 100 grand or 50%, you will only save 20,000 of the 120 or 17% and keep afloat until you get it back. Never use 100% of your income, no matter the number. If you make 50 and spend 50 or make 500 and spend 500, both people are in a very risky situation financially, unless they do point number 3, which is have enough money in an emergency account. He who holds the cash is king. The difference between a poor person, a middle class person, and a wealthy person is the amount of cash they hold. Rich people understand the power of having cash on hand, both for protection and to pursue investment opportunities. So forget about investing and forget about having millions of dollars in the bank as protection. That's another level which you haven't reached yet. According to your spending, your emergency account should reflect the months of income you need to replace your income. So a person spending $2,500 a month doesn't need the same amount of money than a person spending $8,000 a month. Also, a single person might need less money, or a couple could split the emergency account in half where each person contributes half of it. Let me give you an example of how this works. It's not as simple as put 6 months of expenses in a bank account and forget about it. No, it requires more thought process. You have John. He makes $100,000 a year net and saves 25% of his income. So he lives on $75,000 and saves $25,000 every year. 75 divided by 12 is $62.50 a month. That covers everything: his rent, car, entertainment, and others. He saved up 6 months of expenses in an account with a 1.5% yield, so-called high interest savings accounts. So $62.50 times 6 is $37,500. John makes his money from a single source of income, which is his job. He loses his job and gets no severance pay. So what do you think John should do next? Tell me in the comments. Well, Jaime, grab $62.50 from the account and pay for everything pretending nothing happened, right? That's wrong. This is where the thinking begins. When you lose your income, your number one priority is to reduce your spending. He cannot spend the same $62.50 a month he had been spending. He needs to cut drinking, stop going out so much, stop traveling, stop buying clothes, and only pay for housing, car, and the absolute necessary, and live with rice and beans like Ramsey says. You're not gonna go to the club and buy a $500 bottle for the girls with your emergency fund. You're not traveling to Cancun to distress from your emergency fund. Do you get where I'm coming from? Once he gets another job or another source of income, he can progressively go up in expenses to the same $62.50 he had before, or maybe keep it lower forever. Let me tell you something. 6 months is not enough. I'm sorry, but 6 months in a good economy, in a recession like today, you should aim for 12 months, if not more. Also, have your insurances in place. A medical insurance that covers you in case of a surgery or accident. A car insurance with uninsured motorist protection. A home insurance or rental insurance that covers you for natural disasters like floods and fires. And term life insurance if other people depend on your income in case you pass away or have disability. Am I being too negative? Too overwhelming? I don't think so. I'm giving you specific advice you can use in your day-to-day life. If you like this, give me a like to help grow my channel. Allow me to give you very important piece of advice in my foreigner insight for this topic. An emergency fund is only a fancy name advisors created to make average people get interested in the topic. It's like calling life insurance something who was called death insurance before it wasn't attractive. Rich people call it cash holdings or cash position. When you hear a rich person talk about their net worth, they will talk about stocks, real estate, businesses, collectibles, and cash. Every person's worth something in this country carries a position in cash. Why? Safety and as a trigger to grab a good investment opportunity when it shows up. Warren Buffett has a cash position of around $400 billion from his investors. Graham Stephan just came out with Dave Ramsey saying that he has around $4 million in cash. Dave told him, he has a lot of cash. Patrick Bate David has around $200 million in cash. That's not an emergency savings account. That will cover his entire life and the lives of his kids and grandkids easily if it was only for emergencies. They know he who owns the cash is king. If you have the cash, the banks love you. People love you. Women love you. You can ask for a loan to the bank knowing you have the cash to pay it back, but decide not to. Why? Because you use your earnings to pay it back monthly and never touch your cash. Having debt is the opposite of holding cash. Get rid of debt and do it your number one priority. Once you're rid of debt, save your income at least 20% and stash cash. Once you have enough cash to survive a year, then start investing. Trust me, this advice is worth gold. But remember, take control of your life and take control of your money. So thanks a lot for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and found useful information, give me a like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you miss any one of my 2 weekly videos that come out every single week. So have a great day, enjoy the sun, and I'll see you next time. And don't lose any money.